This episode, we're getting together with our inner peace this episode.
Yeah.
I have a candle lit in my room.
Oh.
It smells
Ooh.
nice.
Should I lit a candle too?
You should also light a candle too.
Okay, give me a second. Give me like 5 seconds.
I only have ginger
Everybody
ale.
who's listening to this podcast, light a candle. Get cozy, because this is about to be a whole thing and a half.
This episode was wild.
We'll talk about it.
And
that's why I want everybody to reach their inner peace now, so that we can just destroy it.
Oh, I will never find peace watching this damn show.
Hi, hello everyone, and welcome to Afterbite. It's a Vampire Diaries fancast. It's only 10 years too late. We're back this week. We have found our inner peace. I'm ready to just lose my shit.
Same.
I'm ready to just fucking lose it, gang.
Ready to go insane, you know?
So this week, we're talking about episode 312, The Ties That Bind.
Ooh.
We're back to another The episode, and I feel like we can't get too far away this season.
No.
Every so often it comes back around.
But it's really weird. It's like it happens in like these like groups. It's kind of like a sign function, if you will. You know how it goes up and down.
Jordan. You don't have to flex the fact that you're good at math on me. The Netflix description for this episode is Bonnie's recurring dreams about Klaus's coffins lead her to a reunion with her mother, Abby, whom Bonnie hasn't seen in 15 years. Now, this is just like a run-on sentence, right?
Yeah.
This feels like a bad sentence that was said, but not incorrect for what this episode is about.
It's a good run-on sentence.
This episode opens up in a graveyard. Bonnie is walking through a graveyard and seeing the names of old Bennett witches, and then also the mysterious coffin that she can't open.
So mysterious.
It's very spooky, and to make it all spookier, Klaus appears and tells her that he's figured out how to open it. Can she? And then he bites her.
Yeah, because why not?
And you're like, this is weird, right? This gotta be a dream, right? And then she wakes up inside of a coffin, and you're like, oh, so it's like a nightmare.
Yeah, that was so scary. I was also freaked out for Bonnie.
She is trying and failing to do magic and getting out of this coffin, and someone approaches it, and it opens, and Bonnie sees a woman.
Not a woman.
Not a woman! Oh no! Women!
A woman on the Vampire Diaries? You in danger, girl.
This is not gonna end well. And you say that to be a joke, Brian, but you're correct.
No.
If you're a woman on the Vampire Diaries, be very afraid.
You're either gonna get murdered or you're a Bennett witch.
Or you're gonna get kidnapped.
Ooh. Or bitten.
Or traumatized.
Or be Damon Salvatore's love interest.
Like all of you no, that was covered when we said traumatized. You don't have to make that that was covered under there. We go to now the waking world, where Bonnie is leading Elena to the witch house and revealing what her and Stefan have been up to. And she believes that her creepy nightmares are leading her to open the coffin. Stefan shows up and he's really upset that Bonnie's there, or that Elena's there with Bonnie, and that Bonnie revealed that to her, and she says because she did it because Elena knows who can help her open the coffin, and the woman from the dreams was her mom.
Another Bennett witch.
Another Bennett witch. Although this one makes sense. This one I saw coming, you know?
Yeah, this one kind of makes sense.
I mean, it was in the description, so.
Like,
this
hey, I'm your cousin. And then, bye! See you in the series finale! That's gonna be a fun joke.
I love how that joke isn't gonna land until Check's Watch 2 years from now when we get to the series finale.
Yeah, probably.
Like, Gang, that one ain't gonna land for a while here.
Yeah.
Back at the, I don't want to say back to. We haven't been there yet this episode.
We're always there, though. It's in our hearts.
For the first time this episode, very special first appearance by the Bennett, the fuck, shit, I just can't host this podcast. Very special first time this episode appearance by the Gilbert House, which is a character in and of itself.
Yep.
Elena and Bonnie are going through various Abby Bennetts from across the country to try and find Bonnie's mom, which is, by the way, weirdest way to go about finding your mom.
Mhm.
Yeah, because I was rewatching this, and the first I thought, like, oh yeah, they're just looking at like files, like, is this her? Is this her? Is this her? There were pictures. How does Bonnie not like realize what her mom looks like?
But
And
but also,
She has
why do
pictures.
those files exist?
but
And
also,
how many Abby Bennetts are there?
I was just so confused because obviously, number one, I didn't know how long Bonnie had not seen her mom for, you know?
I think it was
Um,
15 years.
And yeah, and then it's like revealed it was 15 years. So I'm just like, how is Bonnie remembering something that happened 15? Isn't she like 18?
Yeah.
So her mom left when
17-ish.
she was 3. And somehow she remembers what both she and Elena both remember what her mom looks like at the age of 3.
I think they were going off the photo that Bonnie had.
Did Bonnie have a photo? And I
Yeah.
forgot.
Yeah, she
Because
did.
they did a whole dramatic review. It's like, it's her. And then she's like, here you go. And then she goes, oh my God, your mom? Because, dramatic.
Yeah, but still, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, but also, like, here's my thing. Why do those files exist? What are those files for? I originally thought they were like missing persons files, which would make sense. But then they're like, no, this is just a person's life. And I know the government has all the information on us ever. But like, that's a weird file to exist,
But also,
right?
that's not like something a local police
Sheriff
department
has.
would have. Like, that's like federal level information.
Unless Liz Forbes was tracking down Abby Bennett for years to try and reunite her with Bonnie.
Oh, that'd be a sweet gesture.
That
But
was
also,
not the thing, though, because she fucked up in that case and has not been successful because they go through like 7 Abby Bennetts that are not the Abby Bennett.
I love how if that was an actual thing that happened, that Liz has been searching for like 15 years, and then they like figured it out in a day.
In like an hour.
Listen, I love you, Liz, but you gotta look harder.
She really
not great
phoned
at-
it in with this one.
She's not that great at her job, I will say.
She's not good at her job. That is just truth.
Yeah, she's pretty bad at her job. I don't know if
Historically
she should
pretty bad.
I don't know if she should be sheriff. Like, I love Liz Forbes, but also you're a bad sheriff. Sorry, it's just the truth.
No, we need her for plot convenience.
That
That's
is true.
exactly it. You're correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damon shows up at the house saying that he has found the correct Abby Bennett and she is in North Carolina. I don't know what these fucking folks have with like North Carolina, but I swear to God, every person they've been looking for has been found in North Carolina. Bonnie clocks the weird energy between Elena and Damon as soon as it happens.
She's a
Oh,
good friend
Bonnie.
like that.
She's a good friend like that. And Damon is the one to reveal that he and Elena kissed, and it's weird now. Okay, correct.
Mm-hmm.
We go to Caroline's house, where Tyler is waiting for Caroline in her living room. He's wanting to apologize. Caroline, not gonna fucking hear it, because why the fuck would she need to?
Mm-hmm.
Nah.
And Tyler reveals that even though he told Klaus no, he still unintentionally did it anyway. So, he made a call to the biggest brain man he knew, Caroline's dad.
Ugh.
Since fucking Megamind over here was able to resist compulsion, maybe he can help Tyler break the sire bond.
I love how it's never explained how he figured out how to resist compulsion.
It was literally I mean, you have to imagine it was the same way that he was trying to get Caroline to resist blood, right?
Yeah,
He put himself through brain manipulation conversion therapy.
I
Mhm.
guess. But what I don't get what that includes. Like
You know what? You don't want to know. Don't ask. Don't ask questions you don't want the answer to. Don't ask.
No.
it makes no sense, and I know it's a plot device.
Yeah.
What, Mr. Megamind's a plot device? No.
Yeah.
No way. At the Mystic Grill, Meredith, you remember our doctor from last time, and
Yes.
Alaric have lunch, and Alaric shoots his shot asking her out to dinner. She says yes, I think.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Sort of.
If
I
I'm
think she
being
said-
honest, I don't really care about this plot this episode.
She said something.
She
So-
said something, and Jordan, you will. This plot of Meredith and Alaric goes some fucking places.
I really hope so, because this
It-
episode is like kind of meh.
It
It
goes.
really do.
It really do go. Damon shows up wondering who Meredith is, and Alaric tells him that, Meredith's ex is the medical examiner. And then Damon drops the bomb to Alaric that the medical examiner was murdered, like staked to the heart.
He died.
Oh.
Your new GF might be a psychopathic murderer, Alaric, and honestly, you could do better.
Can
Yeah.
he?
Like, fuck Matt Davis,
Yeah,
but Alaric
Matt
could
Davis.
do better.
Yeah. I mean, I know she's a doctor and all, but like,
Like, I know she's rich, and I know all of us are about that sugar baby lifestyle.
Mhm.
At the Salvatore house, Klaus is just like there, drinking. He's having a good time.
Mhm.
And Stefan is like, hey, what the fuck are you doing in my house? Also, hey, how did Klaus get into that house?
He just walked
Because Elena owns it now.
in. Here's a fun trivia fact from Brian.
Oh my god.
I'm actually not kidding. This has actually been stated by the creators. So, Elena does own the house technically. But remember in season 2 when she died?
Mhm.
That broke the whole thing because if you remember, how did Catherine get into the house at the end of season 2?
I don't
To give-
remember. I don't remember.
Exactly, because there was no invitation required. Ha ha!
So is it just that no one owns the house now?
Yeah, because Elena died. Technically, because Elena died, anyone can enter again. They'd have to like re-sign the whole deed thing.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's huh.
That sucks, but it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
yeah. Kevin Williamson, I remember like when this first aired, people were like asking him like, how could Catherine get in? Like, I thought Elena owned the house, and then he was like, oh, because of X, Y, Z, because Elena technically died.
That's absolutely something they just totally forgot about, and they were like, fuck, how do we make it so that shit was good? Okay, you know what? Spins the wheel, throws a dart. When she died, it all ended. Like, okay.
But I mean, it does make sense though.
Yeah, it does make sense.
I liked it though.
I would like to think maybe they thought about that beforehand.
Because I love the one thing that we didn't talk about that when Catherine came back, when Catherine like walked into the house, I was like, I'll just sit on that one. And it finally happened. I could
Brian
break
was
open
spitting
that
on this
champagne.
trip- Exactly. Brian was here and is like holding a sign so desperately, like, y'all pick me for this trivia.
And we just
I've
kept
had
ignoring
confetti.
him.
I've had a clown in my ceiling that I can just drop. Just gonna pull the string and like confetti and balloons drop and like a skeleton of a clown falls down because I've been waiting so long.
What if the clown was you the whole time? The whole point of Klaus being inside the Salvatore house was that he wants his family back now that the hybrids have left town. But Stefan is being rowdy boy Stefan. He's saying no. Because he's a
He's
rowdy,
being-
shitty boy.
He's being a bitch.
Well, he's not really being a bitch. He's more like stalling.
He's absolutely
Like a
just
bitch.
stalling. Like a bitch, though. Hey, Stefan, stall less like a bitch next time, you know? So the girls are on a road trip. In case you forgot, that's the fun other part of this episode.
Road trip.
So
Road
many road
trip.
trips this season.
A lot of road trips, a lot of kidnappings as well. Like
Yeah.
road trips, both forced and otherwise. Thank you, Jordan, for getting that one.
Wait, what? I completely missed that.
This is a no thoughts,
Yeah.
no jokes zone.
This is a no jokes comedy podcast. Very serious comedy podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely 100% serious all the time.
Uh-huh.
I absolutely believe everything I say 1000%.
Yeah, I'm like putting 1000% of manifestation and intention into every word I say. I'm not just spitting things randomly.
So when I say I want Damon to put on his red clown nose, I really do want Damon to put on his red clown nose and honk it a little bit because I think it'd be comical.
Exactly.
Mm.
And I think it wouldn't really detract anything from his character, and that's a
Mm-mm.
1000% true thing that I really do think.
Exactly.
So on the road trip that the girls are on, Bonnie reveals, she tells us some essential backstory about her mom, and she tells this to us. And
Thank
not to
you.
Elena,
Yeah.
but she tells it to us.
Thank you. I'm so
And
confused. So thank you for
so
that.
she reveals that her mom left and that she hasn't heard from her in the last 15 years. And she keeps trying to change the subject to talk about Elena and Damon. And Elena's very staunch in her, nothing's going on here.
Yeah.
Stefan
Nothing's
keeps
happening.
calling Bonnie because he's like a weird overprotective boyfriend now for some reason, since like that's his witch, He's
Yeah.
doing the weird man thing where like he needs to know where you are at all points in time.
Oh yeah, men do that.
Men, they do be like that. Elena answers the phone and tries to make up some lie to Stefan about like where they are. And Stefan, however, is in the kitchen of the Gilbert house, and he does see where they apparently just like left her whole file there.
Yeah.
Like, weren't you gonna take that so that you could know the address? Klaus is making a mysterious call to Daniel, his good hybrid boy.
Yay.
He's making sure that Daniel knows what he needs to do. And Daniel's approaching
Ooh.
a house and knocking on the door and opening the door and asking for Abby Bennett.
This is gonna end perfectly fine.
Dun,
I'm
dun,
sure this is going to go really well for
dun.
everybody involved, including Daniel.
Klaus is just having his hybrids do a
They're
cooking
getting a head start on the census.
Yeah, or they're selling magazines.
Like a Jehovah's Witness.
They're Jehovah's Witness, but just like, hey, have you heard about Klaus Michelson?
I
He's a
feel
dope
like
dude.
we've made this joke before.
We
probably have.
absolutely have.
We keep reusing jokes. But like I as I'm not gonna say that.
Just stop there.
I am the witness of Jehovah.
Just stop there.
I was gonna say that I is a comedian, but I'm not a comedian.
God, no. The moment you brand yourself as a comedian is the moment I am showing you the door of this imaginary room that we are in and recording this podcast.
I can't wait to
Please
see your
stand up from
apology
the
on Twitter.
table. Please stand up from the table, Jordan. I'm gonna escort you from the room. You have been voted off this island.
What is this, a game show?
This is
Yeah.
a game show now.
This is
Welcome to
Survivor.
Afterbite. It's a Vampire Diaries podcast and also a game show.
I've been
This
voted
is
off.
Life and Death, gang. I'm going to make up some diabolical ass shit. Welcome to Jigsaw, but the new
Oh.
one.
Oh.
You're gonna have to chop off some body parts and answer some Vampire Diaries quiz related questions.
Oh, I'm
And,
good.
Actually, maybe I will walk out of this podcast. It's been nice knowing you all. Really fun. Really nice to get to know everyone. Please follow me on Twitter on my account, and I will see you guys when I see you. Goodbye.
Elena and Bonnie arrive at Abby's house, which is the same house that we just saw Daniel go into.
Ooh.
And Bonnie is scared to meet her mom for the first time in 15 years. And, they wait for the door for a while. And then approaching them is a young man named Jamie.
He cute though.
Sure,
What?
he pretty cute. Bonnie reveals that Abby is her mom, and then he invites them inside the house.
So clearly he doesn't know about vampires.
So clearly he doesn't care.
No.
I love how there's so many things that happen in this episode where like Abby was a witch, you know. She knows what that supernaturals exist.
Mm-hmm.
And also has provided no protection for anyone in that household.
Literally none.
None.
Yeah.
Just like, oh yeah, no. I used to be like part of this supernatural world, but they're definitely not gonna come back to bite me. So I'm safe.
I'm good. It's not like I pissed off the biggest, baddest vampire of all time by imprisoning him in a tomb.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You know.
that's fine.
Everything's fine.
So, as they're inside, Jamie is incredibly, like, hospitable.
Yeah.
And Bonnie has, like, the question of, like, are we related? And
Which
they
is so
aren't,
funny.
thankfully, because Abby had just, like, briefly dated his dad, and then his dad had abandoned him, so Abby took him in.
The one thing I love is that, like, when they find that out, Elena's like, good.
I just
But
think it's
also
so funny that they had to
incredibly
ask.
weird.
Yeah.
Gang, that's weird. I don't like the connotations of what that question is asking. I don't like it one bit.
Oh, I didn't even consider that.
Oh no,
don't
Elena
like-
was all like, and then Bonnie's just like, okay, I need to know, like, do I have a brother or?
Yeah, it's just weird.
The place where my brain went was like, oh, because you know everyone in this universe
Is related.
who's black
Yeah.
is related to
Everybody's a Bennett witch.
is related to Bonnie somehow. So like I was like, oh, that's why they asked, right? Because that's
Listen,
funny.
Jamie couldn't be a Bennett witch because he's a man. So
He would have still been a witch. We have established this.
he could.
We're
Oh,
not
that's
using
true.
warlock.
Don't exist.
I forgot.
We're not using warlock. Please.
It's so stupid. Shouldn't exist. The only place I will allow it to exist is Halloween Town.
And there is one villain later in the series who uses it, so they're okay.
Okay. If you say they're okay, I believe you.
I mean, they're not okay. They're a bad guy, but you know.
Yeah.
I was like,
Okay is relative here, actually.
Okay.
Into the house walks Abby Bennett. She makes very awkward eye contact with both the girls.
As she should.
As she should. In the Lockwood cellar back in Mystic Falls, Bill locks Tyler up as he explains how they can hypothetically break the sire bond. In order to break it, since it is based on gratitude, Tyler, on gratitude, like for not having to turn into a werewolf on the full moon, basically what he needs to do is turn into a werewolf so often that he doesn't care about not having to turn on a full moon anymore until it becomes essentially painless for him to do so. And then that'll break his gratitude to Klaus, and he can be free.
Which is fucked.
Wild. Wild. But also, there is a line here that Bill says that I want to just highlight. Bill says the line, "Your bond to Klaus is putting my daughter in danger." Hey, Bill? So did you, Bill.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, Bill? You tried to do vampire conversion therapy on your daughter, Bill. Hey, Bill. What the fuck, man?
What's wrong with you?
Hey, Bill. I have some questions.
I think Bill forgot what he did.
Fucking Megamind? He doesn't forget anything. His mind's too powerful. His mind is way too powerful for this. At Abby Wilson's house, she kind of goes by both last names, I think. So she gets some food together as part of ice breaking, because that's just what you do when you're polite and people come over suddenly. You're like, well, let's have some food then. A meal, shall we?
Yeah.
Abby reveals quite a few interesting things here, mainly to Elena that she knew her mom, and also that a vampire was coming after Elena when she was very young. Abby lured him out of town and desiccated him in a crypt in Charlotte, and both the girls come to the realization that that vampire was Michael. So,
Shocking.
a hard turn of events here is that Michael was going to commit like a child murder so that Klaus couldn't make hybrids.
And it also makes you wonder, how did Michael know that Elena was the doppelganger.
Yeah.
Or that she would turn out to look like Catherine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he know Catherine when she was a baby? Did they look exactly alike at every point in their lives? Or at some point did the doppelganger effect kick in?
You know what? It might also be that maybe Abby knew that Elena was the doppelganger, but Michael wasn't necessarily like looking for Elena specifically. He was just looking for the doppelganger.
Or
You
maybe
know?
he had a witch on his side doing a locator spell for the doppelganger for
That could
like
also be
500
it too,
years.
yeah.
And then they were like, we found one.
Yeah.
Who even knows
The
at this point?
implications of the phrase that of just any of the words that Abby says here is buck wild.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. So
It
like
also makes you wonder, like their parents had to do the shit that they basically did, like fight vampires and like stuff like that. So like, where's that spinoff?
And mostly what I'm just so like babies don't look like anything. Babies don't look like anything, but also if you look at a baby from 1990 in the US and then you look at some baby from 1490 whatever in Bulgaria, they're gonna look like two very different babies, right?
Mhm.
Probably.
Like, they are not gonna look the same at that point in time. Or is the doppelganger effect just like, fuck you, this is exactly what this baby looks like?
I think it's that. I think it's just like from birth that they look like the doppelganger. They're gonna be the doppelganger.
That's just so weird because babies look so weird. I cannot imagine Magic looking at a baby and going, you have to look exactly like some other baby.
Like you
I
have a
think it was
twin,
when they
right?
were
What
3
about
years
twins?
old. Eh.
I mean, like, babies, but like, I mean, baby twins. Okay, I mean,
You just have like a little ribbon around one and says, "This is one. This is the other one."
one wears a bow, one wears a tie. That's how you make sure that you know which one is the boy or the girl. Come on.
Oh god.
No. You assign useless gender roles to your baby, and then you're good.
Yeah.
No, but like, twins don't even look that much alike. Like, it's just wild to me because if you look at old pictures of like babies or old, pictures of children, right? They look a lot different than children look like today. And so it's wild to me that 500 years, like 500 some odd years in between, this baby looks exactly the same, enough for Michael to go, I'm gonna commit a murder. I'm gonna murder this baby.
Well, technically, Elena was 3 when all of this was happening.
Yeah.
I'm gonna murder this toddler because this toddler looks a lot like some other toddler.
Yeah.
Like, hey, what?
I just love the thought that Michael was gonna probably kill Elena. And
Michael was gonna drop kick a toddler. He was just gonna get it out of there. It was gonna be yeeted. Like,
I'm about to say this because we were so shocked that Michael would kill like baby Elena when he actually killed his own children.
okay,
Oh,
I mean,
actually,
yes,
yeah.
it's just funny to me. This
Like,
big bad vampire hunter, right? This grizzled, angry, muscular dude comes
Sebastian
up
Rush.
and just kicks a baby. Just kicks a toddler across the street. That's what he does. What? Even
Oh my
funnier,
God.
did he make a little baby steak to kill a baby with?
My God.
Like, I'm sorry I have to be the one to ask these questions.
Because in
But-
my mind, I thought Michael would just like take her away or like ensure that Klaus wouldn't like
No.
find
He's
her.
not nice
He
enough
was
to
gonna
do
kill
that.
that baby.
He was
I
gonna
think
kill
He
he
was
was
gonna
gonna
that.
kill that baby.
That's how the
He was gonna
going
kill Elena.
down.
But I also like how during all this they were like, we couldn't kill him. I was like, you guys tried.
Also that, yeah, like, at some point, that is fascinating, and I want to
kinda
see
wanna
that
see how this-
flashback.
I kind of want to see how this went down. Julie Platt, good dude.
Hey, Julie? Hey, Julie. I know I'm pretty rough on your shows sometimes.
Yeah, but like this I want to see actually.
I do want to see the parents of Mystic Falls trying to kick Michael's immortal vampire ass. Abby reveals that after doing this spell to desiccate Michael and lock him in a tomb, all of her magic was gone.
Yeah.
And Bonnie is fucking pissed off because they came here to get magic to help, and Abby doesn't have any. So she tries to leave, but Abby stops her. She just wants to explain herself to Bonnie.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm glad they get to have this moment. Elena takes this time to excuse herself and go out to the barn and comes face to face with Stefan.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. I'm sure this will be great, gang.
It's gonna end perfectly well.
At the Mystic Falls Hospital, Meredith meets Damon, and Damon questions her on the death of the medical examiner, and he realizes that she was the one who signed the death certificate to do the cover-up. And Damon tries to question her further, but she says that she isn't the one who killed him. And as Damon turns to leave, she takes him down with some vervain.
Which is badass.
Which came out of nowhere. Was not
Honestly,
expecting
yeah,
it.
did not see that coming.
It literally came from somewhere off stage.
Uh-huh.
I had a reference in my head, but I was like, I forgot it as I was saying it. So,
love that for you.
I know, I love that for me too. But it was watching this for the first time. I was like, okay, what the fuck?
You're like, what? Is she? Oh, she's really crazy, huh?
And then, in the craziest twist yet, she starts to draw blood from Damon before he wakes up.
You're like, what is she doing with that blood?
She has a shrine dedicated. She has a shrine dedicated to Damon Salvatore.
No. No.
What do we all not have shrines dedicated to Damon Salvatore?
Ew, if you have a shrine dedicated to Damon Salvatore, do not talk to me. I'm questioning your worldview.
Well, I got bad news for you.
Don't, Brian, leave this room that we're in. Exactly. Leave this room. You've been voted off of the podcast. Please see yourself to the door of this room that we're definitely all in.
Can I do my big brother confessional before I leave?
Yeah. Okay, great. You have the floor. Continue.
Great, perfect. Thank you. Goodbye.
Great confessional. I'm really glad that you finished that joke up with something really strong. At the Lockwood Cellar,
yay!
They're trying to continue werewolf conversion therapy, sire bond breaking.
Don't know.
I don't know. We don't have a good fun name for this.
It's just pain.
Tyler's just breaking his bones.
Yeah.
And Bill tells him that he can't stop turning, and Caroline's like, this sucks to watch. So she leaves.
As she should.
Good job.
She's like, peace.
Self-care is important.
Stop throwing Caroline's trauma back in her face. Just let her vibe. Exactly. And if letting her vibe and letting her be means her not being here, that's fine.
I love how in order for her to vibe, she literally can't be on the show.
In order for her to have any modicum of peace in her life, she just has to not be here.
She has to exist in a parallel universe.
She has to be in a beach in the Caribbean. Like one of those coconut drinks.
It's what she deserves.
It really is.
Bill takes a crowbar and just starts fucking hitting Tyler to get him to turn, or it's like an axe, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think it's an axe.
It's something fucking wild. And basically, he's trying to tell Tyler that if he doesn't continue to turn, he's gonna kill him because he's not gonna let him endanger Caroline. Again,
Bill, the double standard here.
Just think about what you've done up until this point.
Just be cognizant of your own actions at all. Stop. The bare minimum. I'm asking for the bare minimum of self-reflection here.
Be self-aware.
The bare minimum of self-awareness. Bill's gonna fucking murder Tyler if Tyler doesn't get his shit together. Which, I mean, okay. A good inspiration, I should say.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, right?
Mm-hmm. Hit me with it.
This very much rings true to if this kind of feels like an extreme of those sitcom tropes where the dad's is wary of who their daughter's dating. It's don't break my little girl's heart, Except for the fact
Oh,
that the father has already committed mass trauma onto the daughter. So then them being concerned about the daughter, it just feels really out of place.
Yeah. It feels weird,
Mm-hmm.
right? That Bill's like, no, don't harm my daughter. Like, buddy,
yeah.
bud. I don't even know why I'm saying bud. You're not my fucking friend, Bill. I don't like you,
No one likes
Bill.
you here. Also, I don't like you, and I was upset that you showed up at all.
Nobody likes a motherfucker named Bill.
Mm-mm.
You know? Name one good Bill.
I can't.
Besides Bill Nye, the science
Oh,
guy.
actually, yeah, Bill Nye.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
the
I didn't even think
only
about
good
him.
Bill. Every other Bill kind of sucks. Abby's trying to avoid having like the hard conversation, but Bonnie's like, I did not drive 3 hours for your ass to weasel out of this hard conversation. So, we're talking about it. And what Abby says is that when she lost her magic after using all of it to desiccate Michael, she could be somebody else. Not Abby Bennett, but Abby the person. And she says that she regrets what she did, but she knew Bonnie was in good hands with her dad and Grams. Now,
Where's
the
Bonnie's
fun part
dad?
is, who knows? Who knows? The fun, funky part of trauma this episode is that Abby doesn't even know that Grams is dead, and so Bonnie has to be the one to break that news to her, which is
That
just a fun,
hurt.
funky, fresh bit of trauma for us.
That hurt so much because, like, that's her mom,
Yeah.
and she didn't even know.
She didn't even say
Yeah.
goodbye to her mom.
Nope.
Like, what the fuck,
Mom just died.
bro?
But it even hurt, like, when she was like, "You were in good hands with your dad, with Grams," and Bonnie goes, "You don't know."
Yeah. God, Cat
Like,
Graham is so good. And even whoever played Abby was also pretty good this scene. I really liked their exchanges here.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
They felt good. They felt real and natural.
They did feel real.
Like, you can kind of, like, Persia White, fantastic actress, by the way. Also, Joseph Morgan's wife. Hey. Hey, Queen, how are
Wow,
you?
why do we have so many like the wives of the actors that just come on here? I mean, I know the
No,
answer is nepotism, but wow.
no, this is actually before they actually met because of the show.
Oh
Oh,
wow, then
so
that's actually very sweet. I take back everything I said. She's a
Yeah, they
wonderful
met
woman.
because of the show.
it's another CW match made
Like, they just
on
met on the show.
TV.
But it's one of the few that has actually worked.
Yeah.
So love that
Yeah.
for them. Very happy for them. Outside in the barn,
Ooh.
Stefan and Elena are arguing, as is all they seem to do these days,
Yeah.
and Jamie steps in to intervene. As Elena tries to get Jamie to leave, Jamie's like not having it. He's a good boy, and he's gonna stand up to whoever this shitty guy with Jersey hair is in his barn, like harassing a girl.
Poor Paul.
So he tries to step in. Stefan compels him, but the compulsion fails because Jamie had already been compelled earlier, and
Oh,
he
shit.
shoots Stefan with
Oh,
a
shit.
shotgun, like wooden bullet in a shotgun.
Yeah.
I mean, we all have that laying around, don't we?
No, we
You know
do
what?
not.
Not the weirdest thing I've seen somebody pull out of a barn.
As a person who's never lived on a barn,
Lived on a barn? Or like
You
on a
lived on
farm?
top of it?
lived next to one, I don't know. Worked
Around
on
a
one.
barn? Barn adjacent?
What I'm saying is that the gun was a little especially because of how big and loud it was. Unexpected.
Yeah, but also this is the South.
Yeah, I guess. I'm a city girl, so
Guns are tooting and blazing. The pew pew.
Again, not the weirdest thing I've seen somebody pull out of a barn.
Yeah.
So, inside the house, Bonnie hears this and wonders what the fuck's going on.
as you should.
Yeah.
She goes to peek out a window, and Abby comes up behind her with some herbs and knocks Bonnie out before she can go investigate further.
Oof.
Eh,
We love some good maternal kidnapping.
uh-huh. And now, we have to. I feel like we must introduce a Bonnie kidnap counter.
We actually have to, because this is not the first time Bonnie will be kidnapped as the
You mean the
series goes
last
on.
time?
You know what I mean? Yes,
Okay.
actually, what you
Let's
said. I'm so
insert.
tired.
Let me just insert.
So we just have
one
a kidnap
here.
For all
counter
the
for
women.
all the women, huh?
Yeah.
You know what? That's feminism right there, baby.
Oh God. You mean the opposite of feminism?
No, that's feminism.
It's something, all right, gang.
It's something.
Also,
It's something.
I wasn't sure, but I think also Elena goes in a kidnap counter in this episode too, right?
Yeah, she does.
Did she just get kidnapped?
Yeah,
Yeah.
last episode.
She
And
got
then she
kidnapped
ripped up
in
my
our
heart.
town, and then she also gets kidnapped in this one.
Kind of,
Yeah,
yeah.
kind of. I wasn't sure whether it counted because she didn't like get taken anywhere, but she was tied up.
It's a mild kidnap.
It's a mild kidnap.
We can't be doing these like 0.5 kidnaps. We cannot be doing
Oh.
like mild, severe kidnapping. We have to decide what is our line in the sand. If they are taken from a primary location to another location without their consent, that has to be just what we decide a kidnap is.
I
Like
mean,
we
I never
can't
consented to go to North Carolina.
we we can't do like a 0.5 or like a mild kidnapping. It has to be a kidnap or not, you know?
Okay.
This is
Okay.
my line in the sand, and I'm standing firmly on this side of it.
Okay.
Okay.
So in this situation, here's my problem with this, all right? With this definition that we're saying for kidnapping. Cuz yes, technically like in this scenario, Elena isn't being taken someone against her will, but she is being held somewhere against her will.
She's just being held hostage. That's fine.
Mm. Okay.
That's being held hostage. That is different than being kidnapped.
Okay.
Do
Okay.
you see what I mean?
Yes.
Like, you have to, like, the act of kidnapping is that you have to take someone somewhere else by force, you know?
Okay. Then
Whereas she is not taken anywhere by force.
she's being held hostage, yeah.
She's just being held hostage. I'm telling you, this is my line in the sand. We have to stand for something as a podcast.
Okay.
And this, unfortunately, is it. Because we've decided to stake our claim on novelty counters, counting Elena, Bonnie, and Caroline getting kidnapped, and then also Elijah's very bad wigs. At Alaric's apartment, Alaric's working out, which I think they just did so that thirsty middle-aged moms would watch this show.
Yeah.
It feels like every scene that Damon has in that big shower of his, it's just one of those scenes, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alaric's working out. Damon comes in revealing that Meredith blood jacked him. Alaric's angry at Damon for getting involved, but he says that he has it under control. But does he?
Ooh.
Does he have it under control? The answer's probably no.
Yeah.
From what we know of Damon, he never has anything under control. Like he had a good moment one time,
He had like one good plan.
and that was it. That was it for him.
That was it. We were done after that. In the barn, Jamie is tying up Elena as Abby puts Bonnie into the car, and Stefan's like on the ground in pain because he got shot point blank by some wooden buckshot. So
You just are like, bleh.
shit's bad all around here, gang.
Yeah, it's fun.
And we cut to a quick scene at the Lockwood cellar where the turning is getting worse, and Tyler breaks the chains and, you know, manages to get free. Bill barely, maybe, doesn't make it out. He does not escape. So Tyler, Werewolf Tyler's gonna be on some shit, and so is Bill.
Oh, here's my world's tiniest violin.
I'm
Oh,
so sad.
no.
Oh, darn.
Oh,
I was not
Bill,
sad. I was excited. I
no.
was like, yes! Woohoo!
Bill is my favorite character in this entire show. How dare you?
Brian,
Right?
stop saying dumb shit before you get hit.
Brian, you're about to be
You
voted
can't hit
off
me.
this podcast once again.
Brian, please get out of this imaginary room that we are all recording this podcast in. Show yourself to the door. Don't let it hit you on the way out.
Bill's dead. Yay.
Bill's dead. Great. That's all resolved, I hope.
Yeah, nothing bad will happen.
On a dark road,
Ooh.
Abby shows up, meeting with Daniel, Klaus's best boy.
Yes. Because Klaus's 30 other best boys have been killed.
This one is the best boy we're talking about this episode.
Yeah.
On this dark road, Abby tells Daniel that she does not know where the coffins are, and she's trying to get the location of the coffins, otherwise Jamie is compelled to kill himself.
Whoa.
Great.
Which is awful.
Great.
Oh, no.
Bonnie, is she's refusing. She can't. She cannot tell her where these coffins are.
I love how she words it as, "This is bigger between me and you."
Yeah.
And Abby types out a message on her phone secretly for Bonnie to warn her friends.
Which is so fucking smart. And
It
I
is
love
so
how Daniel
smart.
is the dumbest idiot in the entire world and doesn't notice this.
I know. He's like, I can't imagine what she would be doing typing into her phone, but I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure she's not sending out coded tweets or some shit,
She's sending out her sponsored message of the week.
Hashtag ad. Elena's trying to escape back at the barn, but Jamie is confused as to why he's doing this. And, he says that Daniel compelled him to kill himself if he didn't get the locations of the coffins. Yikes, folks. Shit's grim.
Yeah.
He also reveals that he isn't supposed to hurt Elena, and Elena says that the ropes are hurting her. So as Jamie gets close to, untighten them so that she doesn't get hurt, she breaks free and knocks him the fuck out.
Power move by Elena.
This.
So good.
And
also just so clever.
Yeah.
She knew the game, but she was like, I found the loophole. Haha.
And it reminds me of in season 1 when Elena and who got kidnapped? Caroline probably got kidnapped with her.
Bonnie. Or Bonnie.
Was it Bonnie?
I think it was Bonnie. Because Caroline and
Wait, so that means we have to actually the counter's on 2 for Bonnie. It's not 1.
Oh shit.
Okay. Counter's at 2. Gotcha.
Yeah, no, is this when they're gonna blah, 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 when they were gonna go open the tomb?
Yeah. And
yeah, no, it was Bonnie.
And oh yeah. And then they were they were kidnapped by Anna and her boyfriend, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that dude.
And
yeah, that guy.
Rest in peace.
And Stefan came in and was just just open up the windows and that saved them, right?
Yeah.
And that compared to Elena just being super clever and getting herself out of the situation, it just feels so rewarding that has happened now.
It's just, I love it because Elena's so clever.
Mm-hmm.
She is.
You've seen it before, and it's so good that they made Elena so fucking smart. The deals she's made with Klaus and Elijah, and now this. Girl, hell yeah!
I imagine if they followed Elena more often and just let her into the planets more often, things probably would have gone better.
She would kick ass.
Yeah.
She probably would have killed Klaus by now.
She certainly wouldn't have fucked up that wooden stake plan with Michael, so...
Yeah.
Nope.
I mean, look at her, precision in getting the gun and knocking Jamie out with it.
So good. And then, after she knocks Jamie out, because... Also, I mean, it's smart on 2 levels. Number 1, you can escape. Number 2, he can't hurt himself while he's unconscious.
Right.
So he's good for now. She also goes to help Stefan, just plunging her hand into her chest, or into his chest, to take out the wooden buckshot.
The things this girl will do, amazing.
She's incredible.
Yeah.
So we cut to the witch house, where Damon is coming down the stairs and is greeted by Klaus.
Uh-oh.
The witches are not jazzed about this. So they do the thing where they, ring his bell, basically, which is they do the mind thing. And Klaus hits back, saying he will kill the descendant. Like 100 dead witches have 1,000 alive relatives, and I'll kill every single one of them if he doesn't get his coffins. And he's like, I will end the Bennett line and all of your lines, which is hardcore as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
The witches stop and reveal the coffins to Klaus, but they only show 3 of them.
Uh-oh.
And Damon reveals that the 4th coffin isn't there. He took it and he hid it.
That's gonna end well.
I'm sure. I'm sure it'll end about as well as him hiding the moonstone in his soap dish.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
that.
He doesn't have a great track record right now. I'm not gonna lie to you.
So it's kind of hard to
No.
trust that things will go well at all for him.
Exactly. So, on the bright side, they managed to save the 1 coffin, the magically locked one, the one that has the secret to killing Klaus.
Mm-hmm.
At least he took the most important one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
That
happy about that.
was the smartest thing that Damon has done in a second. In a while.
In a hot second, yeah. So we go to Mystic Falls Hospital again, where Alaric is confronting Meredith about why she tried to take Damon down and why she stole his blood.
I think it was at like the point where they had Bill coming in on the stretcher. I was like, oh, I know what's going on. I get it now.
Yeah. And so Bill
Oh, wait,
Forbes
Bill's
comes in
alive?
super bloody and barely alive. And Meredith is
Damn
like
it.
telling Alaric, like, hey, stick around. You'll see. You'll see why I
Damn
took
it,
his
I'll
blood.
delete my eulogy.
I know. My eulogy for Bill Forbes was that he sucked.
You sucked.
He
That's it.
sucked.
No one
Goodbye.
liked you. Don't rest in peace.
Back at the barn, Elena is literally just like digging shards out of Stefan's chest.
Yeah.
No wonder she becomes a doctor later.
I mean, yeah, she's seen so much blood, she's like, whatever at this point.
She just plunged her hand into his chest like it's no big deal. Stefan is recovering here and he realizes that something about Elena has changed, that she's stronger now. And Elena says that everyone had to change. And then she tells him that she and Damon kissed.
Really quickly before we discuss that, because
There's a lot to unpack there.
the whole like conversation I'm now realizing of like everyone has to change kind of harkens back to, I think it was last episode, or it was the episode before that, where there was a lot of talk about kind of like saying goodbye to your old self and like
Yeah, that was our town.
yeah,
that was last episode.
and like being
Somebody new.
yeah, somebody new, like kind of like reborn again. So I really like that callback. Good callback.
Yeah, and it also just really tracks for the theme. I think it really kind of tracks for where they're trying to take Elena's storyline now, is like she's becoming a new person.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all of the Mystic Falls gang they're all becoming new people. And I think it's very thematically, I think, what they're trying to do with the last half of this season.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see if it works. Stefan is upset by this revelation, as he has honestly no right to be.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it. Like, Stefan tried to kill her, like, yesterday.
Not only
He almost drove her off of Wickery Bridge, and she fully thought he was gonna do it, and he's upset that she kissed another guy. Like, granted, right, it's your brother, and he's a shitty guy, and I get it. But Stefan? Really?
also, I don't know. I feel like this scene also meant to me of Stefan and his humanity and like whether or not he still has that in him. So I feel like this whole entire scene also holds that of like, oh, maybe a little bit of Stefan is still in there. Because like, for me, while I was watching this scene, I was like, is he going to react poorly? And like, at first, he didn't really show anything on his face, you know? So I was like, oh, maybe like it's still more is locked off than we think. And even like his reaction to it, and like him saying like, Elena, I thought you're better than him, you're better than both of us, right? Like even that
Yeah.
reaction, I was like, okay, maybe. And then later on, I was like, oh yeah, no, that part of Stefan definitely still in there.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's really it's a nice reminder that he's maybe in his own way and maybe in a weird way getting his humanity back, or maybe he never really entirely lost it in the first place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he does also say that, I think Jordan touched on this, like he says that she's better than both the Salvatore brothers. Yeah,
That's true.
agree.
Yes, she fucking is.
Correct. So at the Mystic Falls Hospital, Meredith goes down the list of why Bill Forbes is dying, and she has a way to save him. She uses Damon's blood as a way to heal him to keep her patients from dying. Which, I'm not one to judge because I'm not in the medical professional field. But, number one, wow. Number two, I think you should be more used to your patients dying. Like, you have to have a pretty good grab
Yeah.
on... Like, I understand that it hurts, and that like you're directly maybe in some way feel responsible for that,
Yeah.
but also you're a doctor.
You're a doctor.
This is your
And it's
job.
like also like think about the consequences of that. Like what happens if they die like within the 24 hours?
Yeah, what if they die anyway and you
Yeah.
just created a vampire? Or what if
Exactly.
they didn't want to be healed by vampire blood?
Yeah, what if they wanted to die?
What if they wanted to die? So there's that confusing morality that they have just thrust upon us. And like most things in the show, we can't really open this gift that they've given us.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
just
we
there.
actually do kind of go back into it in season,
Yeah.
5 or 6? This is a secret mousecatool of ethics that we're going to use later in wild and interesting ways. So I guess we're back to that creepy road in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, I love that road.
Daniel has, for some reason or another, fucked off.
Good.
He's left.
He has left the chat.
Daniel has left the chat. Klaus's best boy, gone. Abby and Bonnie learn that the Mystic Falls gang managed to avert disaster here, and Abby says that even though she cares about Jamie like a son, she also cares about Bonnie. And she still wants to help, but without magic and without Bonnie's trust, she can't. And Abby says that after the spell, her magic didn't just go away. It drifted away the longer she stayed away from Bonnie. And Abby says that, she'll get her magic back in order to help her.
It's kind of...
I like that little, like, you left Bonnie? Oh, here, we're going to take away your magic.
I just find it... I don't know how to address how I feel about the fact that now that, like, the magic is even in question, Bonnie now has to form a relationship with the mother who abandoned her 15 years ago. For no good reason other than selfish reasons. You know? It just... I don't know if it sits right with me.
It's a little... I don't love it, but it looks like she's trying to make an effort.
Yeah.
And I guess,
And, like,
any journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step, and if this is Abby Bennett's first step, good.
Yeah, I guess my problem lies with the fact that the only reason that Bonnie's getting any sort of closure or is even forming a relationship with her mother is because of the specific situation, and how if this had not happened, she still would not have taken the step to get to know Bonnie or go back to her.
Yeah. It feels bad, but it also feels maybe good in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's both. At the Mystic Falls Hospital, Tyler shows up apologizing for almost killing Bill.
Which he shouldn't.
Hey, Tyler, you don't need to.
No, Tyler, you're fine.
We appreciate it, actually.
You get a pass.
This one, you're good. You don't have to apologize for this one. So, Tyler says that he feels much more like himself, but Bill says that Tyler needs to continue to turn until the sire bond is completely broken. So, he did it today, but can he do it tomorrow? And the day after that?
and the day after that, and the day
And the
after
day
that,
after that.
and the day after that. But also, that's fucked. So that means that every single hybrid, if they want to break free from Klaus, they
Mhm.
have to turn over and over and over and over again.
Until it doesn't hurt anymore, basically.
Basically, they can turn painlessly, which, ouch.
It's painful.
And traumatizing.
Yeah.
Absolutely traumatizing.
I just,
But it also makes sense
It
based
does.
on how Tyler described the sire bond in, I think, the New Deal.
Yeah.
I think
'Cause he's
how he
grateful.
described it of like gratitude, like faith.
Yeah.
This is how you become ungrateful.
And see, here's
Break
the
your
thing.
bones and turn into a wolf, baby.
Just make these kids. I want to see these kids be ungrateful as fuck. Give me some fucking rowdy boys up in here. Let's go.
Rowdy werewolf vampire hybrids.
Give me some rowdy boys.
Yeah.
Again, critique it. I'm gonna critique Bill being able to resist compulsion again, just because of the fact that this logically makes sense, but him not resisting compulsion doesn't make any sense. Like, this method makes sense, but I don't get how this is applied to resisting compulsion.
I think it's kind of like training your brain kind of thing. I don't know how Bill did it, and I don't think I want to know.
Yeah, no, like, I guess
Yeah, no.
like training
It's
your brain,
stupid.
training to your brain to like associate compulsion with bad, which is you would already associate being compelled
Compelled.
so being compelled with something bad. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, I don't want to go into.
It doesn't make any sense, and I'm gonna just bring it up to critique it again. We don't have to go into depth about it. It just that plot point makes no sense, and I don't know how they got away with that, thinking that was okay.
These plot points really did not make any fucking sense.
Yeah,
I
Julie
mean,
fucking
even this
early.
one is a little thin, but like, I
Yeah.
get it.
It kind of makes sense. The whole like Bill resisting compulsion and thinking that somehow that like no makes no sense.
Yeah, it's a little weird. I'll admit.
It's like the sire, the way they're the way they're going about trying to break the sire bond makes the most sense out of any of the 3 conversion therapies we've heard about thus far.
Yeah.
Which is a bad sentence that I have to say in the year 2020.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a bad sentence, and all of these storylines are just held together with the tiniest bits of thread because this barely makes sense.
Yeah.
And yet we're here talking about it. It's 2020. And we're like, yeah, I guess this makes sense compared to other thing that made no sense. Like, wow, this feels bad, huh, gang? So we go to the Gilbert house where Alaric meets with Meredith and reveals the secret that he is a vampire hunter. And
No.
Meredith wonders how Alaric was able to survive, and he tells her that the ring saved him. And she's like, wow, a vampire hunter can't be killed by vampires? Pretty handy. And he's like, yeah, it might be broken, but we're good.
Also, I kind of like this before they kiss. Oh yeah, surprise, they kiss.
Ugh.
I love how Meredith like tries to take the ring off.
Yeah, and I'm like, ooh, what are you doing, girl?
What's she up
What are
to?
you
are
up
you?
to?
What are you up
Can we
to?
trust Meredith?
And she doesn't look very surprised by the ring and everything at all.
She's just very shady.
She's super shady.
I like her though. Oh, am I the only one?
I don't know if I have enough.
I mean, I like her. I like her as what she turns out to be. I don't love her right now, but I like her looking back.
As a person who has not seen the show, I don't know if I like her right now. I'm just sketchy about her.
She's very suspicious.
She's super sus.
She's super suspicious, but we will find out what happens next.
What happens next is that they kiss.
Alaric, how dare you? Kiss another woman. You know she's either gonna die or die.
Yeah, kiss of death, Alaric. Thanks, dude. Thanks for that, man. So they get interrupted by Elena, who's like, yeah, it's good that you're moving on. It's not. Alaric, keep your damage to yourself for now.
But stop dating women in general. Just don't date them.
The whole Elena walking in on them made my heart hurt. Again, I miss Jenna so much.
I miss Jenna so goddamn much every goddamn day.
Like, it hurts.
Farmers, we miss you, baby.
Like, every time she's mentioned, it breaks my heart a little.
Yeah. But I did
Basically,
like.
Elena just thanks Alaric for sticking around and giving a shit to help her and Jeremy.
Yeah.
When, ma'am, you've had to really strong arm him into giving a shit about you
Yeah.
guys most of the time, but okay.
I know, but I still liked it though.
It's still a good moment. It's
I'm
just
a
like,
sucker for like the found family bullshit.
Yeah, we all are. Brian.
but this is not like a found family.
No,
Maybe I just really like found family when it's gays and
Yeah.
not when it's a bunch of traumatized vampires and their girlfriends.
My
Maybe I
God.
only like the found family when it's not straight.
Because that's the only one that's applicable to us.
Yeah. Like, I don't know, this doesn't feel like found family. This feels like Elena strong-armed Alaric into helping them out a bunch.
Elena's
And
like, "You're
then
my family now."
eventually he's like,
Okay, I guess I'm your
Stockholm Syndrome
family.
is like, yeah, I love helping you guys.
Yeah, Elena said, "You're my family now. Stick around, bitch."
At the Salvatore house.
Not there.
Not there. Oh no.
That
Stefan returns home and learns that Klaus got all of the coffins except for the locked one. And Damon worries and says something about Elena. And Stefan just fucking cold clocks him. Just
Finally.
fucking decks him.
Finally.
Loved it.
Been waiting for
Such
that.
a good moment.
Ugh.
I love
It
it.
needed to happen.
I felt
Oh.
so much relief.
Yeah.
It just
And
felt so good.
Damon is like, you know what? Fair. I see you had a good talk. And then he's like, by the way, got something else. And he pulls out an original dagger.
Oh my gosh. When I saw this, I was like, who did he let out?
And I'm like, holy shit, who?
But also, such a good move because, Klaus?
Klaus?
You
I did
you
it.
you say it right all episode
I
until
know.
you're like, is this how I say it? At the end of every episode. I'm like, you've said it right. I would have
know.
roasted you if you didn't.
The Santa Claus.
My brain short circuited a little bit.
It's okay. Mine does that every week.
But he brings him back into Klaus brings him back into his house, right?
Yeah.
And like it's just such a good move because you think you're okay. It's like a Trojan horse. That's what it is.
Ooh.
It's a Trojan horse and it's so good.
It is a good move. God damn it, Damon, making good moves in 2 episodes, you
I
idiot.
know, right?
The hell's wrong with you, Damon?
Like I'll give
Careful,
you
Damon.
I'll give you this one, Damon, all right?
Hey, Damon, if you keep making good moves, we might have to actually think that you've grown as a character, and that would be honestly the most terrifying thing of all.
That'd be traumatizing.
We might actually have to like you.
And honestly, don't make us do that.
Don't
You might have become an MVP for 1 episode. Ugh.
Nope.
Oh, no.
Ugh.
At Klaus's HGTV dream mansion.
Oh, I love
In
that
case you've
mansion.
forgotten, he's been doing some renovations and has been having a really good time.
Yeah.
He is happy that he finally has his family back, and he is
Yay.
talking to Daniel, his very good boy.
Yeah.
And then Daniel's heart is ripped out
Oh, shit.
from behind him. And Daniel
Behind him.
crumples to the ground to reveal
Who?
Elijah.
Oh my gosh!
He's back.
This was such a good cliffhanger.
Oh,
Such a good reveal.
I remember watching this live and screaming my head off that Elijah was back.
It was so good.
It's so good.
Because you just knew shit was about to hit the fan.
Yeah.
And it's like, yes.
Like, oh, the implication for the next episode about what's about to happen.
Mm-hmm.
The implications are so delicious.
They
I
are.
love it. I love it.
These are some very crunchy implications we're about to get into.
And also,
Yeah.
thank you, Vampire Diaries, again. Bringing back the good cliffhanger, okay? We've been gone away from it for too long. Thank you for doing it for a second episode in a row.
Yeah, I'm glad that we finally come back to it. Sometimes they don't do a cliffhanger, and I feel like the whole episode is weaker for it.
Yeah.
I feel like this whole episode is stronger because they did this cliffhanger.
The cliffhanger
Yeah.
raises it up a level.
Exactly.
The bar is slightly above the ground now.
Exactly.
So, hey, Jordan,
Mm-hmm.
what are you ranking episode 312, The Ties That Bind?
I always get nervous near the end of an episode because I'm like, oh, I have to rank this now.
That is how this show
I'm
goes.
always the first one to go, so
I'm sorry, do you want me to make Brian go first?
no, it's okay. I like the
Okay.
pressure.
Okay.
So this episode, I think I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, um, even though some plots I was like, I don't care about this, like the whole Alaric and Meredith plot. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I could do without it. And also kind of the Tyler plot, like just because Bill was there, I was like, I don't want to see your face. And also, but yeah, I don't know if there was anything like prominent that came out of that. Nothing really moved forward other than the fact that now Tyler has to continuously turn into a werewolf and break his bones, you know? So nothing really came out of that easier, but like the A plot for this episode was so strong. The whole like because for a long time, I wasn't necessarily questioning where Bonnie's parental figures were from, you know? I had just kind of accepted that Grams was her parental figure and that like now she's dead so she's kind of on her own.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh,
it was really nice to like kind of get some more backstory for Bonnie behind her mom, and for her to kind of go back and try to develop a new relationship with her, even though I don't know if the mom necessarily has good intentions doing that. Um, so like I think that was really strong. I also think the whole the whole like side plot between Elena and Stefan, and her like revealing to him she had kissed Damon was really good. Like their whole scene was good, and then Elena like breaking out of that being a hostage and like smacking Jamie on the head with the gun was really good too. You know,
she said
S-
bonk.
so so like there are good parts of this episode. There are also meh parts of this episode. I think I'm gonna go 8.5.
8.5.
Yeah, because like the A plot was really strong. They had like really good moments between certain characters, and I really love the cliffhanger.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Brian, what are you ranking it?
Hi. So I'm actually kind of gonna go the opposite a little bit, but not much though. I did love this episode. Good A
Mm-hmm.
plot, B plot, meh, it's fine, it's there.
Yeah.
I loved meeting Abby. Abby is a great character. I'm happy she's here for a little bit. Hmm. Um,
Spoilers.
spoilers, surprise. Um, and so plus the stuff that Bonnie got to do with this episode, the stuff that Kat got to do with this episode, like we're no longer seeing Bonnie be like the plot solver. Bonnie is the one with the problem and needs to be solved,
Yeah.
which was
Mm-hmm.
awesome for me. And I loved Bonnie. Like I love Bonnie's my favorite character in this goddamn show. Like I will die for Bonnie fucking Bennett.
Hmm.
Um, I'm gonna go 8.
8.
I'm not gonna go 0.5 because could have been a little bit better.
Yeah, I could have.
Mm-hmm.
I think I
It
put the 0.5 there for the cliffhanger.
Yeah, the cliffhanger definitely bumped me up a little bit more because it's hard again. So I'm trying to think of like how when I watched it the first time, and it's like, was this one of those episodes I loved? And it's like not really, but like I still loved it. Like I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I definitely get that. I think this episode is what I'm going to call a soup episode.
Oh,
And let me describe that, because there is a strong A plot. You have a
Mhm.
strong central note of something, right? You have Bonnie and Elena going to get her mom to open the coffin. Cool. Great A plot. All these other little B plots, like Alaric and Meredith, Damon fucking around trying to find Meredith, the sire bond breaking and everything. All of those just sort of get mixed in together. So there's not one strong B plot.
Yeah.
So they all kind of get thrown into the soup here.
Yeah.
yeah.
And I don't know if this is a good soup necessarily. Like I enjoy the soup, but do I just enjoy the soup because I'm sick and I need soup? Or do I enjoy the soup because it is good soup? And I think with this, I think I'm going to go with Brian and go with an 8.
Yay!
Because while the cliffhanger did make it stronger, cliffhanger was great. I love that Elijah's back now. Him coming in complicates things immensely, and I cannot fucking wait. I don't know as though it was enough to make this soup real good.
Yeah, the rest of the B plot really brought this episode down.
Yeah.
It really did, because it was such a mishmash of like 3 different plots that kind of came together at the end, but not in a super compelling way.
Mhm.
Yeah. In a super compelling way.
Thank you, Brian.
You're so welcome.
Hey
But
gang, who's the MVP from this episode?
me, because I had to watch it.
All
I'm
of us,
kidding.
because we did have to watch this episode. This is not. There are some episodes where I will give us MVP status for watching
Yeah.
it and suffering through it. This is definitely not one of
Yeah,
them.
definitely not.
Still a very good episode.
I kind of want to say,
I'm kind of torn. Here's why.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm torn
Hit me with
too.
it.
Bonnie, great plot, you know?
Mm-hmm. Love it.
And just like had to, I guess, do so much with her mom. But Elena and that little clever head bashing, I don't know.
I would personally fall on the side of Bonnie
Yeah.
because I just loved Kat's acting this episode more than I loved Nina's.
Yeah, Kat really brought, like, she gave, like, we got more depth to Bonnie finally. Like, we didn't
Yeah,
get, like,
that is good. A good thing that
that,
happened.
like, oh, Bonnie's has family else somewhere else. Like, oh, okay, great.
Cool, where is she?
We're
I want her back now.
And it's like, we got
Please
to
come
see,
back.
like, Bonnie doesn't have a perfect home life. Like, her mom isn't dead. Like, and her dad is just in the ether somewhere. Like, it's just like, we got to know, like, what happened with Bonnie. And it's also, we got, like, some cool little backstory to, like, not ye old Mystic Falls, to 1990s Mystic Falls.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Bonnie, so my official vote's for Bonnie.
All right, Bonnie
Bonnie.
it is.
Bonnie it is.
Bonnie. Okay.
What a queen. I mean, honestly, she
We
just
love her.
Queen.
kills
She
it.
did so much. She only had like a few scenes that were really emotional, but she fucking sold those ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? So that's it for this week of Afterbite. Join us next week. We'll be talking about episode 313, Bringing Out the Dead.
Uh-oh.
Oh, that's a good title.
Ooh.
I'm sure nothing bad will happen here.
I've already watched, Jordan, I've already watched the episode already because I've done the notes already. I'm trying to catch us up ahead. You are going to love it.
Oh.
Purely, I think, for the ending.
Oh.
I think, because how you said this had a good cliffhanger, I think you're going to be more shocked by the next cliffhanger.
Oh.
I can't fucking wait. That is
Yeah.
such a good episode title. I honestly had not read that until this moment. That's like such a good episode title.
It's really good.
All I can think about when I hear Bringing Out Your Dead is Bring Out Your Dead, ding, from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Oh, am I the only one that's ever watched that? Okay.
So that's it for this week. Join us next week. Until then, you can find us on Twitter at AfterBitePod. Or if you want to leave us a voicemail about how Elijah's hair looks better now, but also worse, I'm sure it'll get better next episode, hopefully,
does.
once he's fully awake. You can do so on anchor.fm/Afterbite. Or if you want to just like send us anonymous things, we do also have a curious cat that I'll tweet the link out to here, so that if you have anonymous bad takes you want, you can send them there. I want to hear your bad takes so bad.
Yeah.
I want to be able to roast you all on air, please.
I really do. I really do.
Until then, stay inside, stay safe, and wash your fucking hands, y'all.
Wear a mask.
Abolish the police as the first step to defunding the police. You know.
Wait, you said that wrong.
Oh, wait.
Abolish the police as the first step to defunding the police. You know what? That's fine. It stands.
You get what I mean. Let's just get rid of the police. What I'm saying is get